Hey there, hope you are doing well. So here there is a directions for questions that there is a passage below which is accompanied by a set of questions. We need to choose the best answer to each question. So this is the next question of the text from the same text which we have already discussed and uh, you found nothing but the text is indicating about uh, that called as how the social medias and the newspaper get into the bias. Not all the newspapers, you would find out some. Um, at the same time, it is indicating about the independence and it also portrayed to a person, famous person known as Alex Salmond, right? And all these other things. So let's say that means we'll directly jump to the question. So let's see that what does the question point out. The question here points out that what is the author trying to imply by presenting the example of Robert Robert Peston, right or not? So let's see that what are the options point out here. If you look into the option, the first option says that uh, only the news that is published by leading newspapers is allowed to be broadcast. Option 2 stated the standards set or the news published by leading media establishments are followed by everyone. Option 3 stated BBC faces a lot of criticism and is accused of bias while presenting news by the general population. Option 4 stated Robert Peston, um, unlike many media professionals, believes in fair. Right. Now, if I look into the text where we talk about what means, we talk about in the second paragraph almost, where it is stated the problem. The problem with the media is exemplified by Dominic Lawson's column for the Daily Mail last week. He began with Scotland, comparing the threat of independence with that presented by Hitler. The article was helpfully illustrated with a picture of the Der Führer, right? Der Führer is known as a despotism or autocratic, unaccompanied in this case by the Mail's former proprietor. In June, the BBC's economics editor. So, who is Robert P. Peston? Now, he is the economics editor of BBC. So, who complained that BBC News is completely obsessed by the agenda set by newspapers. If we think the Mail and Telegraph will lead with this, we should. It's part of the culture. This might help to explain why the BBC has attracted so many complaints of bias in favor of the no campaign. Right. So, if you talk about the Robert Peston, who is the editor of BBC Economic, right? So, his point of view given in this, so indicating what? It is indicating that if we think the Mail and Telegraph will lead with this, we should. It's part of the culture, which is uh, pointed by Robert Peston. So, if I look into the option one and option 3, they state the explicit content of the statement. One stated only the news that is published by leading newspaper is allowed to be broadcast. And 3 said BBC faces a lot of criticism and accused of bias while presenting news by the general population, isn't it? Now, 1 and 3 state the explicit content of the statement and provide uh, no real im- no real implication, isn't it? Implications. They can therefore be eliminated on that basis. So, from Robert Peston's statement, it is evident that the content leading media companies focus on is adopted by everyone. Therefore, if you look into the option 2, the standard set or the news published by leading media establishment are followed by everyone. So, this could be considered as the answer to it, right or not? Um, because what is the author trying to imply by presenting the example of Robert Peston? So it is trying to explain the idea that college news published by leading media establishment are followed by everyone, isn't it? So Option 4, if you look, Robert Peston, not like many media persons, believe in fair, fair and unbiased news coverage. Now, this focuses more on Robert Peston as a person, as a person. So, what kind of a person he is than on his opinion, right? It is not about his opinion, but his as a person, right? Which the context does not demand. So, therefore, we can consider option 2 would be the correct answer to it, right? So, 1, 3 are indicating the idea which is not really implicated. So, option 4 is indicating to Peston as a person, not as an opinion. So, not his opinion, so option two, which is clearly stated on the basis of the uh, Robert Peston's idea presented in the second paragraph of the text, right? So therefore, we consider option two would be the most appropriate out of the four. So option two. Hope you understood it. That's all. Thank you.